It's time to service my ICOM IC208H that I took out of my old car because I'm going to be putting it in a new car. And this one here has had a problem with the microphone for a while. It won't key down half the time. And it could probably be a switch that's gotten dirty or gone bad in there. But let's take a look at this one and see what's wrong. It's my old ICOM 208H VHF UHF ham radio that was in my old vehicle that I traded in, and I'm now planning to put this one in the new vehicle. And I like to carry a 2-meter radio in the vehicle with me, just for emergency use. Also, if I break down somewhere out of range of cell phones, I can rely on the ham radio, so I've got a radio in my cars. Now this one here used to work fine, but it has not been used for a number of years, and from what I remember, it was starting to act up. So before installing it in the new vehicle, let's give it a test and see if it's working. I forget how to do this thing. It's been so long since I've used this thing. I believe if I push the memory recall button on here, there we go. Let's see if it will actually, I've got an antenna on here. Let's just see whether it will actually key up the repeater. The antenna is just sitting, it's a mobile antenna just sitting on the floor, so I don't expect much out of it, but hey, it appears to be working. That part appears to be working, but I know that there was a problem with the microphone, and that's what we're going to look at, is the microphone, because the push-to-talk switch was what was giving me problems on this before, besides the fact that the mic cord looks like it's seen better days. This has been sitting around on the floor of the truck for a number of years. I don't know how many people have stepped on it, but I'm sure it's been kicked around for a while. So these use a standard, it's like a RJ45 plug, and basically you can use a Cat5 line, believe it or not, is all that's needed for this, even though the mic line probably is shielded. A shielded Cat5 will work just fine for this mic cord. But the problem with this one, from what I remember, is the push-to-talk switch isn't working. So let's just open this thing up and see what the condition of the push-to-talk switch is, and maybe give it a shot of cleaner, and that will hopefully make it work properly. And there's the switch there. It's just a, as you can see, it's just a standard momentary contact switch. Other than that, it looks pretty straightforward inside here. Nothing fancy. Let's get some cleaner out, and we'll give this push button a shot of cleaner. I'm going to use some Deoxit D100, and I'm going to give the contacts a shot at the back, as well as a shot of cleaner into the actual switch itself, because I think the switch is in need of cleaning. I think I'll also pull the board out, and we'll look at the connections on the other side. Since I know that there was a problem with this microphone, because when I used to use it, it would cut out. I'd be talking on it, and it would just switch to receive. Because I used to use this radio regularly. It was in my truck, and then when I got the Volt in 2011, I left this one in the truck and started driving the Volt, and then I didn't use this radio quite as much. I only used it if I was in the truck. I'm going to resolder the switch as well as the connector here on the end, just to make sure that there's no problems. One contact here looks to be possibly this one right here. Might need some attention. I'm just going to redo the whole thing while I've got it apart. and then the push to talk switch. These ones are just the anchor pins. I'm actually quite impressed with the quality of the board. I mean, look at the plating on it. I plated through for a double-sided board, and the surface mounted components and the soldering looks really good on this. This is made in Japan, and it shows. I mean, the quality of these ICOM units is very good. I've had well, virtually no problems. I've had some problematic ICOM radios, but this is one here has been pretty good over the years, other than that microphone problem, which was a common problem on these units. The damaged end closer to the radio, put the good end onto the mic. See, now it's like new. Let's see if this thing works now. Call for a radio check. Let's see if anybody's on RPT. I have to move my antenna so I can actually hit the repeater. Well, the radio appears to be working. Low power. Yes, for a radio check, anybody out there? As I say, my antenna is just lying on the ground, so I don't expect much reception. Plus, there's no ground plane. It'll work a lot better once I get it mounted in the car. I can barely bring up any repeaters here, and my power supply doesn't have enough power to power this thing up. It's only on a 10 amp supply, and this thing draws probably about 18 at full power. Well, it's working. Can't really raise anybody right now. I guess everybody's busy doing other things. It's a Sunday night, right? So nobody on there, but we'll get this mounted in the car. At least I know it's transmitting and receiving, and then I'll have to remember how to use it, because this one's been it's been a long time. I haven't used this radio probably in 5 years or so. So next time you see this one, it'll be in the new car. What goes wrong with these is typically that mic button that I cleaned up here. That's a typical problem with these, and of course the end of the cord pulls out, but you can replace that with just a piece of Cat 5. These were built like a brick, you know what? These radios made in Japan, very good quality ICOM equipment. Anyway, we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.